Storytelling is important. It's really what creates our imagination of the landscape. When we go out and we work or we play, it's the story that stays with us. Most of the stories about public lands happen in the West, and this story actually happens at the Canadian border in the upper Midwest. Keene chose the Boundary Waters as our third site for Story Camp because it is a unique wilderness stocked with vast amounts of fresh water, has an amazingly rich history of industry living alongside conservation and recreation, and because it is imminently on the brink of large-scale mining development. We knew there would be stories to tell.
You're in one of the most water-rich national forests in the country. And when you look at it from the air, the way I describe this to people, it's like a giant freshwater sea. The Boundary Waters itself contains right around 1,000 lakes. It's like almost 2.5 million acres of what we call the Canoe country. I mean, it's a small percentage of the overall national forest system in our country, but it contains 20% of its fresh water.
What we wanted to do with this new event series called Story Camp was invite the public out onto the landscape, spend a day, and then come back for some food and do a kind of an open mic session and let the public define what the landscape actually means to them.
A high point on a canoe trip was one evening with our friend Charlie Farrell. Charlie and I went out after dinner and caught 39 walleyes in an hour and a half on surface lures.
The first canoe trip I went on was in 1951, and I was 2 years old. And the first memories of my life are from that canoe trip. By hearing people talk about their experience, how important this place was for thousands of people from all around the United States and elsewhere.
The last mine in Ely closed back in 1967, so I mean, historically Ely was like a mining and logging town. But I'd say we've moved on from that. Ely has embraced what I would call the lifestyle economy. I don't like to think of it so much as tourism. It's more about the quality of life this place has to offer. And a lot of that has to do with the recreational opportunities that it offers. Untouched, undeveloped forest, just like right out your back door.
But a lot of you probably don't know this, but the main thing, the best thing then, and it's true today too, which is that you can drink the water in these lakes. You can just drink it.
One of the other neat things about the Boundary Waters that I find really fascinating is just watching my child grow. It was kind of funny because every time he caught a fish, that lake was the best lake ever.
All of these places across the upper Midwest came from the same glacier, right? That melted and it carved all of that out. It filled Lake Michigan, it filled Lake Superior, and it filled all of the Boundary Waters. At one point, all those waters were the same thing, right? But the Boundary Waters is the only one that's really left intact the way that it used to be. If I had a one-place list of places that I want to see saved in this country, Boundary Waters is number one.
A lot of people care about this place, and they see how significant this threat is. I mean, this is something that would cause irreparable harm to the Boundary Waters Canary Wilderness. Our concern with this type of mining is it's unlike, taconite and iron mining like we've done in the past. So when you're bringing up all this rock and you crush up all that rock to get at the metal, you're exposing sulfides. And the concern then is now you've got acid getting into the water.
When I was a kid, we used to go and play at Old Pollute, which was what we called this stream by my house in Baltimore. Ma, we're gonna go play at Old Pollute. Oh, don't get wet.
There's no place like this on earth. This is the greatest canoe country wilderness, protected canoe country wilderness in the world. This is utterly unique.
That place represents not just something special to me, but it's pretty much the heart of the wilderness. It bleeds into the heart of the wilderness.
This area just south of the Boundary Waters Canary Wilderness is now open to further exploration and leasing. So companies like Twin Metals can now apply for new exploratory permits, and they can start turning the exploratory permits they have into mineral leases. So it just kind of opens the whole forest up to mineral development.
and I encourage each and every one of you to share your story. Tell everybody you can find in your network of friends and family about this special place and ask them to help you save it forever.